Perhaps that's a perfect time for a little Wayne's World. All right, Ryan, we're gonna count down from 5, 4, 3. Uh, you didn't say 2 or 1.
Oh yeah,
You just don't.
that was on something else
1.
too, unless I'm just
You just
remembering Wayne's
don't.
World.
That's it. I'm sure it's yeah. I'm sure that's a joke that's been used a lot.
Because it's
That's
like
the
the
one that always
countdown,
comes to my mind is Wayne's World.
and then they just use the fingers to one without any
Yeah,
audio.
yeah.
That could be Wayne's
Wayne,
World.
Garth, we can see you nodding your head.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is Wayne's World because I'm starting to come back. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I've only think I've seen that on Wayne's World. Then they question it, and it's the second take, and then they're both nodding their
Yeah.
heads as the countdown is happening. Probably went through it about 2 or 3 times before they got it right.
So random fact about that movie. The guy, like the technical director, right? The floor director,
Mhm.
the blonde dude that's from their public broadcast show. He does it, and like he starts laughing because of the joke, and they decided to keep that take in there that when he's laughing when he does it,
Mm,
and that's the take you see him do the countdown with. But he
nice.
wasn't like scripted to laugh at that. He just couldn't help it.
So, to officially get started, I know last time we talked, we were wrapping up, and honestly, it's been a couple weeks since our last recording, at least. maybe
Yeah.
maybe more than that. But we left off on a note that you wanted to continue on what we ended on, but I don't know what we're talking about.
So we were talking about the Subnautica 2. I had asked you about the Subnautica 2 release because
Hmm.
I saw you playing it. And I was curious as your thoughts. I'm trying to look up like a little kind of what happened with it. But the
Okay,
Subnautica 2 release uh lawsuit. Here we go.
there's a lawsuit
Uh
already,
so
huh?
Yeah, so what happened is during the development of Subnautica, a company that wanted to get into video game publishing purchased the game, and so they released Subnautica 1. It did fairly well, and as they started to develop Subnautica 2, the company was doing everything they could to essentially not pay the developers because
Oh,
it wasn't going to be the same team anymore, right? They had started Subnautica 2 when the purchase of Crafton, I guess is the name of so the dispute began after Crafton acquired Unknown Worlds Entertainment in 2021 for $500 million,
yeah.
with an additional $250 million bonus contingent on Subnautica 2 meeting revenue and milestone targets. In July 2025, Crafton fired co-founders Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire, replacing them with Steve Papoupstis. I don't know how you pronounce that name, and delayed the game's early release to 2026. The founders filed a lawsuit claiming Crafton intentionally delayed the game and ousted them to avoid paying the bonus, alleging breach of contract and bad faith. So,
Interesting.
this guy, co-founder Ted Gill, but the way he was explaining it is Subnautica 1 did not make that $500 million back for Crafton. And so
Yeah.
to increase the revenue for Subnautica 2, he was trying to find ways to not have to pay this $250 million bonus. So, what he does is he fires the co founders, replaces them with new people, and then he delayed the early access. And like, I guess he cut the marketing budget to it and everything. They ended up delaying the actual release of the game by a few months, and so he was doing all this kind of like crazy like stuff to make sure that Subnautica 2 actually did not do well
Hmm.
for however long it took them to recuperate this money. Because I think there was a stipulation they had to sell X amount of units before a specific time. Otherwise, the $250 million bonus was forfeit. So he was doing everything he could to push back the amount of sales it got until it reached this lapse in the bonus. But
Wow.
people like the game sold like hotcakes when it first came out, and I mean within a few days or whatever they had hit the milestone,
Hmm.
and so he ended up. I think he ended up having to pay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so eligible parties include the fire founders, affected staff, and potentially certain consumers. Because they were like kind of like a Kickstarter thing. There were certain people that bought into the game early, but they were more like investors in the game's development as opposed to just
Yeah.
consumers of the game. But it looks like they ended up having to. Oh, the game broke records on Steam with over 467,000 concurrent players, making the $250 million payout increasingly likely. Legal outcome: while the CEO has been reinstated and the bonus period extended, litigation over damages and the full payout continues, with the court yet to issue a final ruling on monetary compensation. So it looks like the original Subnautica 2 guys won this lawsuit,
That's
and they're
good.
gonna they're gonna get their money. So that's good. I was just curious if you had actually heard anything about it. Um,
No, I
or like
wasn't aware of any of the legal battle between any of that at all.
that's crazy. I mean that's the only thing I heard about the game. I didn't even know Subnautica 2 was coming out until I saw this lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, now you played Subnautica 1, right? I
I
I
played
may have this
most
game.
of it. I didn't
Okay.
ever finish the game, and I tend to not finish survival crafting games. I get hooked on
Right,
them for a
right.
while, but then I get busy. Life happens, and
Right. Yeah.
also
Yeah.
I can't possibly spend my entire existence devoted to
Playing one game.
one game.
Yeah.
No.
I might have this on. I think PlayStation might have given it away as like one of their PS Plus games before.
Yeah, it was either
Um,
PlayStation or Xbox had it for free at one point.
okay,
I would
maybe yeah,
lean
maybe it
towards
was Xbox.
Xbox probably because Subnautica 2 is free on Xbox or Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks cool. Like, I was watching you stream it well, not the other day. This was a few weeks ago now.
yeah.
But it looks like, like Minecraft underwater essentially. Except for like you can't fight the fish.
Yeah, you can't fight
Which
the fish in this one.
is
That's a point that has been
it's kind
made.
of
You
space.
can't punch a fish. You can grab it and eat it, but doing any other harm.
Like, I
Uh,
mean, like some of these fish look crazy. Like I know some of them are like aggressive towards you.
mm,
But there's really no way you just kind of have to like swim away from them, from what I understand.
yeah,
And I know a lot of people were pretty upset about that because
well,
they were
that's what
like, at least in the first one, you could have a knife or something. I think, right?
I don't. Yeah, maybe. I know the not being able to fight fish in the second one was a cause. There was a disturbance in the force. Um, and so there's some people complaining about it. I don't think it really matters that much. Like the game wasn't
Sure.
altered like significantly by not being able to fight a fish.
Hmm.
But currently, or in its current state as of when I played it last, which has been a little while now, because I only played it like that one night for however many hours I played it. Uh, well, actually, no, I went back online at like after hours, yeah, and played for a while, like in crafting mode.
Sure, sure,
Um,
sure.
at this stage, I can't imagine they've added anything really significant since the last time I played it. There's
I was gonna
absolutely
say I
no
don't think it's been
content
out that
right
long,
now.
right?
Yeah. I mean, you
Oh,
can build,
kind
craft, and
of.
whatever, but the your map is pretty limited. Anything that you'd be curious about it as a gamer, you can't experience yet. Like there was a definite border. Like if you go past it, immediately it's gonna trigger a leviathan to come and fucking kick your ass.
Oh shit. So I kind of that kind of makes me feel like a No Man's Sky vibe. Like you can kind of travel around and like you can
Yeah,
like look at stuff, but there's really not much to do
yeah,
as of
like
right now.
yeah. Um, No Man's Sky though, you can do all sorts of shit now. It's wild
Yeah,
how big that game's
it
gotten.
took a.
But
I
I
was
don't.
gonna say it took a few years, but it's
Yeah,
like it's like a massive game now, from what you have told me.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. What's going back to Subnautica 2 though? One thing I noticed you can't do that you could do in the first one is it doesn't seem like you could build vertically. In the first one, I could build vertically. Like I took my shit and I built up to the moon. Oh,
Oh,
figuratively.
like even out of the water and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you could start your base in the water and then just keep going up and then climb ladders and make it as tall as you want. But I wasn't able to do that in my experience with the second one. Um,
Uh, uh,
the first one, when it was made, there was definitely like a border to the map, and I mean, like you can build up to where you see. It's almost like if you're, let's say there's a stage, a Hollywood stage, and it's built as a jungle scene. You're sitting in the stage, all you see is jungle. But then if you climb the
sure, sure.
ladder, go up into the rafters, you can see the walls, and then
Right, right.
and if you go past the roof, you're gonna see the other studios. That's kind of how the first one worked. Even in the late game, you could build up and
Mm.
basically break the game and the immersion because you can see, all right, this world is definitely just on a square and like I don't know if you've ever played around with Unity Engine or Unreal Engine or
No.
anything like that, where you just have a map. Or another good example. This is kind of old. A lot of people might not get it. Sim City. You have a square
Oh,
map and you
yeah.
can build your
Yeah,
city
yeah.
on that. But like
Sure, okay.
while you're in the city, like if you could
Yeah.
go first person view, you would never know that there's limitations to what you got. But as soon as you raise up, you can see, oh shit,
Yeah,
there's
kinda zoom out
nothing
a little bit.
outside of this. It's just empty space.
Yeah.
And that's how the original game was. You could build up like in survival mode or not survival, but crafting mode, and you could see the limits. And then you see that, okay, the moon is definitely just plastered um,
Sure.
on some weird background.
Yeah, it's like a
Um,
painting more than anything.
So I wanted to test that to see what the limits of the game were, but then I couldn't build
Mhm.
up. Um,
Oh, that's a bummer.
and then I couldn't build out in either direction past the barriers. I could swim past the barriers, even though the game was limited, so there's nothing to do out there. Um,
Sure.
and I
But you
built
don't have
some
a Leviathan that comes out and kills you or anything.
in the second one, yeah, definitely. But if in crafting mode, you can build your like water vessel or whatever. So I was able to go as far as I wanted
Oh, that's kinda cool.
without the Leviathan killing me. But there was nothing to
Right,
do out
right.
there. It was pointless. It was pointless.
So it now well, now let me ask you, has the game been released? Like the actual game, like the one version 1.0?
It's like
Or is
the
it still
early,
oh,
it's
it's
kind of
still
like
early
Grounded,
access? Okay.
where when Grounded came out, they
Yeah,
released it to
yeah.
everybody, but there wasn't jack shit to do in it. Same
Sure,
concept,
sure.
exact same thing. Like,
Okay.
hey, let's just go ahead and sell this now, make some money off of people, and I'm
Sure.
surprised it broke records because, like I said, very limited. You can still have fun with it, but not for very long.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's a credit to the community, right?
Yeah,
That's the community, the fans of the first one, uh,
yeah.
saying, "Hey, we're not gonna let this crafting company come in and ruin the franchise that we love. So we're gonna show our support. We're gonna show it early. We're gonna show it often, and hopefully that will, encourage the developers because like." I mean, you get into that mess where he doesn't have to pay out the $250 million, then maybe he just stops development on the rest of the content, right? Like, oh, you guys aren't buying the game, so we'll just finish up this version. This will be our version, and then we'll just call it a day.
I mean,
So,
anybody with those type of tactics, I wouldn't want to support for the long haul
sure,
anyway.
sure,
Because if
yeah,
they're gonna do that, then obviously they're gonna play other fucking games.
hmm
So yeah, mm. I can't see myself wanting to support someone who's willing to fuck over the people who made the money
Right.
that they're benefiting from, or made
Yeah.
the
I mean,
title or franchise that this person's benefiting from.
it's crazy because like the Destiny 2 fans, the Bungie fans are kind of in a similar situation. It's not exactly the same because you can still technically play Destiny 2, right? Like it hasn't.
Yeah,
There was this big rumor that it was going to be taken offline and like you'd never get to play it again. That's not the case. They're just not developing any new content for it anymore.
I thought there was
Sony,
a new content, or
well,
did
so
they just
okay,
release
so
their
sorry,
last one?
right after there was one last update that happened like a week ago. New Destiny 2 uh, update. So whatever this last update was, Bungie has announced Monument of Triumph update 9.7.0 came out June 9th. So Bungie and Sony had stated that this is going to be it for Destiny 2. Now Destiny 2 all content that was supposed to take place after that has been scrapped and will no longer be worked on, specifically because they chose to continue Marathon as opposed to Destiny 2. And you saw a lot of like Bungie fans and a lot of Destiny fans jump into Destiny 2 while it was still, as the end was nigh, to show that they made the wrong decision. And like, I mean, right now, Marathon is, I think, like the 100th most played game on Steam. And so like if you
Mhm.
and before, everybody comments about how, oh no, it's a PlayStation game. Yes, I do understand that they have more people on PlayStation playing Marathon than they do on Steam. But like if you think about it, like you can use Steam, right? You can use that piece of the pie as kind of an idea of how much overall pie is going to be used. And like, I mean, for the fact that, Destiny 2 on its last day had, I think, twice the amount of people that it had ever had playing at one time. It was so busy that it like crashed the servers for a couple
Mm.
hours. And so, you know, we're getting into that stage of video game development where uh they're trying to cut costs because they cost so much fucking money nowadays. But they're also, we're also getting into this point now where the gamers, the people that actually buy this stuff, are finally starting to, for a lack of a better term, kind of step up a little bit and display, hey, no, this is what we want. You keep trying to force us into this, but that's not what we want. We want this. And so, I see a good future for that kind of stuff because eventually these companies are going to want to stop losing money,
Yeah.
and so they're going to be forced to kind of go back to giving people what they want. And so I don't know, maybe Marathon comes back. I've heard from a couple of people that Marathon's actually a good game. I think it looks like ass,
Yeah, I think it
but
looks like a
I haven't played
DEI
it, so I can't
hire.
really say. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, like how they go forward, and like what these companies are going to do in the end. It's crazy that we bring this up because like I was thinking about this the other day because everybody's always complaining about how they have all these like remakes and remasters, and there's no new games or anything. I'm like, that's not necessarily true. But like the new games that we have, we really only have about half of them, because the Western developers have been overtaken by these activist fucking cunt bags. And so they put out a bunch of garbage that nobody wants and nobody buys. But luckily, we still have the Eastern developers like China and Korea and Japan to a certain extent,
Mm. Korea's putting out
that
some
are putting
great
out stuff.
shit.
Right? Yeah.
Korea's putting out some
And so
great shit.
right. And so there is stuff to look forward to. But like,
Yeah.
as we go through this transition period, uh, because of the way capitalism works, remakes and remasters are inevitable because, the way capitalism works is if you have a game, and this is not how typically how video games have been, right?
Mhm.
You put out a game like Super Mario 3, it's the greatest game in the world at the time. A bunch of people buy that game and they just play that game for years and years and years and
Mhm.
years and years. And so you don't really have anything that, you know, like GTA 5 is a great example. Everybody and their mom bought GTA 5, and so they just played that forever, which is why they were able to, you know, remaster it so many times. But like, it's not one of those things. It's not like movies where you see a movie, maybe you watch it a few times, but then you stop watching it and you move on to the next movie,
Yeah.
right? Like capitalism needs that constant, continual growth to keep itself alive. And you don't typically have that in the video game industry, right? You get a game that you love, you put 100,000 fucking hours into it, and then maybe 5 years down the road, you buy another game that you love, and you put another 100,000 hours into it. And so if that's the model, then video game companies can't keep up because you buy the game one time and maybe it makes $2 million, $3 million the first year it's out, but then it doesn't make anything else after that. That company is going to fold. And so you only have two options to sustain that income. One is to do these, live service games where you're constantly buying new gear or buying updates or going the Destiny 2 route, marathon route, or you re-release a game hoping that people buy it again, like they did, like Skyrim and GTA. So, um, in my opinion, I'd rather do that. I have no problem buying a remaster of a game that I love. Like
Yeah.
I know I have some issues with the art direction of Assassin's Creed Resynced, but Black Flag's probably my second favorite Assassin's Creed game, and so I'll definitely, if you're gonna make that look better than what it was when I fucking bought it originally, fuck yeah, I'll buy that shit again. I bought Skyrim
Yeah,
like
sure.
6 times, you know.
Tim. Yeah, you do buy the
And
same
so,
game a lot just to make sure you can get all the
oh yeah,
achievements on
absolutely.
every console or
Yeah,
computer.
absolutely. Sekiro is a perfect example. I have all the achievements on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox. And if they ever decide to put achievements on Nintendo Switch, I'll buy it on the fucking Nintendo Switch too. you know, like,
I
and so
did want
that,
to.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
I would much rather do that. No, I'm just saying. Just to finish, I would much rather do that than just keep buying these shitty fucking like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for the people of Destiny 2. I enjoyed Destiny for a very long time. But like just the new stuff that they were putting out, World of Warcraft, the new stuff they're putting out just doesn't look very good to me, you know. And so I'd rather buy something that I'm
Yeah.
more sure that I'm going to enjoy than spend money on something that's like a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, World of Warcraft is something I never got into either. And I know my father-in-law, he was playing it one day, and when I went over their house, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta check this. This is a great game." Blah blah blah. He's telling me about it. I look at the game. I'm like, this game looks like ass. Um, but it's
Yeah.
just not my style of game though.
Asmongold, right? Asmongold talks about that shit all the time because he was like one of the top 10, 15 World of
Yeah,
Warcraft players in the world. That's how he kind of became famous.
yeah.
And he's just like, I go back to it and it looks like Apex. I fucking hate this shit. Like it looks stupid. It looks terrible.
Warcraft
It
looks like
looks like I need to be
Apex.
5 years old and have no
Oh, I see what you. Okay, I see what you're
that kind
saying.
of like
Like,
cartoony style,
yeah,
right?
it was cartoony. The
And like
characters weren't
everybody,
like proportionate. Like, I want to
right?
immerse myself in
You
a
know,
world that I can actually see myself being in, I guess. And so I can't immerse
right?
myself
And
in
it
in this world where everybody's like a squatty little weird looking character, no matter what freaking race you
like
are.
I mean, and just right, and just like the way they went about it, like they made
Yeah,
everybody safe to look at, right? Like I remember playing like Warcraft 2 was one of my favorite games for a long time, but the orcs looked like orcs
yeah,
and the elves looked like elves. Now everybody's got You know, they're not really scary, but they might have like dark eyes, so that's how you know they're the bad guys. But everybody, you know, everybody, it's not the orcs' fault that they're evil and blah blah. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck
It's not
up.
the orcs' fault that they're evil. It's genetic.
Yeah.
So I looked
Yeah.
this up while you were talking, and I just wanted to put it out. So, just so everybody out there who's watching the video knows, if you play a game for 100,000 hours, that's 11 years of your life. Okay. So, so
Shoot,
just
I mean,
if you
what?
put
Hey,
100,000
Skyrim's been
hours
out
into a
for.
game,
Hold
damn, I don't. You spent literally 11 straight years playing that game.
up.
No sleep.
Okay, so Skyrim came out in 2011. Yeah, you could put 100,000 hours into that
Yeah.
game easy.
You're
It's
not
been 15
married. You
years.
don't have kids. You haven't taken a shower. Your desk
Uh,
area looks like shit because you're eating right there on the spot. Like, have you ever
that's
seen that
yeah,
movie,
that's
The
right.
Whale,
That's right.
with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah. It looks
And
like
with
Brendan Fraser for
he's
sure.
he's calling the pizza guy, but he actually lets the pizza guy in so he can put the pizza in his lap. That's the only difference. Like,
Yeah,
if you're playing for 100,000, just sit it right here on my big fucking gullet.
No, that's you just move your computer desk to the front door,
Oh
and you're
yeah,
like,
see
you
that on
just
the
open the
this.
door and grab the pizza.
Yeah, just your desk is right there by the closest windowsill, and you leave the window open. No, it's just like you said it. It's like,
23.
how many years is 100,000 hours?
Yeah, so I might have exaggerated a little bit. There are a few games that I do have a few hundred hours in, though, that's for
I know
sure.
some people have
Like
several
dude,
thousand hours in games, and I can't fathom like what my most
right,
time
any
spent
more
in a
than that.
game, like I said before, is what the hell is that? Shut the fuck up, game. Um,
Now,
Cyberpunk, I think.
having said that,
I have 196 hours in
okay,
Cyberpunk. It's a lot of time.
that's if I was to add up, I have so for the original Final Fantasy VII, I have memory cards that literally have at least 4 save slots that have maxed out the time, and the time maxes out at technically 99 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds.
Yeah.
So at least 100 hours in 4 save slots. If I was to venture a guess, all the different times that I have bought Skyrim and played Skyrim, I might be pretty close to 1,000 hours in Skyrim,
Yeah,
or
there's
even
hundreds
Fallout
of
3 for
hours.
that matter.
I feel like
Like,
there's like, if you do everything in one set, like one playthrough of Skyrim, you do everything, like all your side quests, everything. It's got to be a few hundred
yeah,
hours, right?
yeah,
N-
at
Um,
least.
you know what? There's a website for this. Skyrim. We doing Skyrim SE. We doing old school
uh,
Skyrim.
do the just
So,
do the
okay,
original
Elder Scrolls
Skyrim. How
5
long did you
Skyrim
complete everything?
for a completionist is 237 hours. Now, that's backed by data from players who have
Yeah.
finished it and put their hours in. By the way, if anyone needs to know and you don't know already, howlongtobeat.com. Pretty amazing website if you're looking for, how long is this game going to take me?
Yeah.
Well, if you do everything, almost 250 hours. Now, if you just play through the main story, which I find
Okay.
like impossible unless you can just fucking parry and dodge every fucking thing that comes at you and you never die, 35 hours.
Right. So, okay. So, just on Steam for myself, just on Steam. Keep in mind, I also have the original and the special editions on both Xbox and PlayStation as well. So, just on Steam, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, I have 266 hours in.
All right.
On Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition, I have 194.8 hours. So
Okay. So combined, you have like over
I have
almost
almost
400 hours.
I have roughly 194. We'll round that up to 200. 266. So 260. So I have 260 and 200. I have 460 hours combined just on Steam. Just on Steam. So yeah, I would venture to say I'm pretty close to 1,000 hours in Skyrim alone.
Yeah.
Jesus
That's
Christ, what
some
have
good
I
time.
done with my life?
What do you have to show for it? See, Persona
Oh my
5 is
God.
considered one of the longer games, but Skyrim is longer than Persona 5. Uh, like I'm trying to see like what is the longest game to play, like to completion. I just don't know. I don't know if
Oh,
anyone
that's a good
knows.
question. I'm curious.
I don't know if anyone knows. What about Cyberpunk?
I have 133 hours in Fallout New Vegas. I have 140 hours in Fallout 4.
Hmm.
And I have 230 hours in Fallout 3. That's just the Game of the Year edition. Apparently, I never bought the original, unless maybe they just upgraded me to the. Maybe that is like Fallout 3 because I had bought all the DLC as it came out. So I wonder if maybe they just kind of like because they've done that before. They've just upgraded me. I'm trying to think of what game. Oh, it was Skyrim. I actually didn't have to buy the special edition over again. On Steam, when they came out with the special edition, because I had the original with all the DLC, they just gave me the special edition for free.
I don't know
Because
how.
the only upgrade was the look.
I don't know how I get with some of my games. Like, how did I pay for Skyrim? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. I know I've paid for multiple games multiple times. I actually coincidentally, I just bought Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred on PlayStation. I already owned it on Xbox.
So
I
I
bought
won't go
Diablo
from
3 multiple times.
multiple times. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't go from like say console to console. I'm not gonna buy if it's on Xbox or it's on PlayStation. I'm gonna leave it as is.
Mm.
But I will rebuy a game for PC. I did that with Stellar Blade. And I would do that with other
Sure,
games.
sure,
And
sure.
I've started a game on like say PlayStation. I'll be playing on PlayStation. I'm like, hold on, this game has a fucking PC version. Fuck this. I'm buying it on PC. And so I'll go over and buy it on PC and play that version. There was a period of time when I was playing a lot of PlayStation, just because I was having connectivity issues. So I figured the best way for
Mhm.
me to not tax my hardware was to play on PlayStation so I could use my computer strictly as my
Sure.
streaming device.
To record and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, I always go back to PC. Like I turned my PlayStation on the other day, and then like, everything sucks here, and turned it off.
I've said this for a while that I am a PlayStation guy, right? And I have
Yeah.
been basically since Final Fantasy VII came out on PlayStation 1, I've been a PlayStation guy. My brother, on the other hand, when I left, he became an Xbox guy because his friends were Xbox guys. So when he and I got into playing, he really wanted to show me Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, but he had it on Xbox, so I had to buy an Xbox
Yeah.
if I wanted to play it with him. And so I usually buy it on both because but really only if it's a multiplayer game, right? If it's a
Hmm.
multiplayer game that my brother is going to play, I will buy it on both. Otherwise, I only buy it on PlayStation, usually.
Yeah. Um.
But like I said, for a while there was times when it was like, because I'm a completionist for the most part. I'm not like some I'm not like what's that YouTube channel, like Trophy Hunter or whatever. But
Oh yeah.
so because some games like I went back and replayed Black Flag when they announced that they were coming out with the remaster version of it, and like I never got a couple of the achievements, which I finished up on this last playthrough. But like I was never like a multiplayer player when that game
Mhm.
was released, and now I tried to jump into a multiplayer game, but there's like 5 people in the world still playing Black Flag multiplayer. So
Yeah.
it's like it's not really worth getting into anymore. But so there's some achievements that I'm like, okay, I could realistically, if I wanted to dedicate another 100 hours to just doing this stuff, I probably could, but
Mhm.
that's not worth it to me. It'd be one of those things where like if I knew there was still like a dedicated online community for that game, sure, maybe I would give it a try. But I'm not gonna sit
Yeah.
here and just fucking grind this game by myself.
Makes
It would
sense.
take me forever. So
Like when I tried to go back and play Anthem.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, the servers
Which they
aren't
gave
real
up on that.
anymore.
I feel they gave up on that game. Yeah, like
Yeah, I
I feel
thought it
they
was a
gave
fun
up on that game
game.
real
Might have
quick.
been a short campaign, had some launch issues, but I still feel like it was a fun game. The campaign was fun for what it is. Uh, and then yeah, so I had
Yeah.
played it for a little while, and like, yeah, fun game. I'm doing other stuff right now. I'll come back to it. Came back to it a little too late. Oh, game's
Yeah,
dead.
that's
Servers aren't active anymore. Well, shit.
uh,
Why did I download this
yeah, that's
game
a
again?
bummer.
Mm.
Son
Um,
of a bitch.
yeah, I guess going back to the PlayStation, Xbox thing though. Um, yeah, I, I would say that I was probably a PlayStation guy. There was a brief period of time when the first Xbox came out. I switched over and played Xbox for a little
Okay.
while. Um, but then I came back around to PlayStation. Nowadays, I don't want either one because they're both too heavily involved in politics and censorship and basically what's the word I'm looking for? They're I can't think of the word. Basically, they're on the same train as everyone else. Like you were talking about Western gaming companies and everything. Like
Yeah,
everybody
sure.
is dumbing down, uglifying, or
Mhm.
just making everything uh, uh, not weird,
Yeah,
but
they're trying to there's this false idea, and I saw this great meme on well, I still call it Twitter. It's technically, and I
yeah.
say that all the time. It's technically X, but I call it Twitter. But
No, but an interesting topic came up on the radio today. Yeah, I still listen to the radio, everybody. And they were talking
I
about
do
just
too.
things that like if somebody did this, you couldn't date them or whatever. But one of the things was like a
Mm,
guy like called in or emailed in and said he couldn't date a woman who also likes to play video games because that's like his hobby and his escape. So if he had his girlfriend or
sure,
wife there
sure,
right
sure.
next to him with a computer, um,
Mm,
then it would kind of defeat or take away from his source of escape from reality. So, I don't know, I thought it was interesting, and I wonder how many people like think that same thing. Like, yeah, women can be in video games, but not around me. A lot of guys do, I think, because they're always like, oh
yeah, I
shit,
feel like
it's a chick. Fucking get off this server. They
yeah,
either hate
yeah.
them or they're trying to
No,
date
I
them.
I would yeah, that's yeah, that's exactly it. And that like you're right. I actually probably I would venture to say that there's and it might be pretty close to 50-50. but I would venture to say it's probably more like 60-40, maybe 65-35.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, um, I only played with specific people, right?
Yeah.
Like, like I had to know that you had played video games before. I had to respect you as a video game
Oh
player.
shit. There was an
Like,
application to play with you. Okay.
because right, and that was the thing. Like, I mean, like I'll be the first to admit, like I was pretentious about it. I didn't want to sit there and take the time to teach you how to play a game because I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
I had limited time. I wanted to jump in. I wanted to play for a couple hours and actually get shit done. And
Like, I
it
don't fucking know, woman.
it,
Why
it
don't you
was
figure it
actually
out like I
wasn't
did? Shit.
right. And like it really it was fairly recently. I would say probably actually, right around the time that I started live streaming, and got kind of used to like not just being able to just play through the game, but also
Yeah.
having to pay attention to chat and answer questions and
Yeah.
hear what they say about these games or explain what I'm doing because it looks interesting to them. And so I think that actually made me a more open player, so to speak. And so, like I play with my wife all the time now, and she still says that I'm, kind of an asshole.
Oh.
Where it's, I'm always like, like Grounded, for example, right? I'm like, okay, all right, babe, gather up your stuff. We're gonna go to this and we're gonna do that. Okay. And and it takes her a while because she legitimately looks, okay, how much
Yeah.
water do I have? How much food do I have? Do I have enough torches that we're not gonna get stuck in the dark? And I'm just like, I just grab my shit and go.
Yeah.
Like what are we waiting for?
You do
And
what
so
a typical man does, and she does what a typical woman does. But I mean, you take your
yeah, yeah.
actual you take idiosyncrasies. Is that the right word? Probably not the right word. You take your actual like things
Yeah.
that you do
No,
in real life
that's
and
a
you
good one.
apply it to video games. Like, all right, hey, hold
Right.
on. Has
Right.
everybody gone to the bathroom? We're about to head out. We don't need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's not one of the stats we have to pay attention to.
Yeah. And so I think I've gotten a lot better at it. She'll
Yeah.
probably, tell you differently, but she has no idea what it was like before, where it was just like, if I don't know you, I'm not fucking playing with you. I'm just not. I'm just not because
Good
I don't
thing
have
y'all
the
didn't meet
patience
on
for
a video
you
game then, I
to.
guess, right?
Like, yeah. But the funny thing, what also helped me was the fact that like you had never played really like Soulsborne games before. So, me being an experienced player, being able to play in your games and like kind of watch you figure this stuff out was also very fun for me. And
That's interesting that you
it
say
made me
that.
realize that like there's fun in helping other people.
Okay. All right.
where
All right. I helped
where
you bridge
before
the
it was just
gap.
like,
Okay. Because um, the, the reason I said that's interesting that you say that is I do remember playing like uh, Dark Souls 2 is a good example where there would be times when you'd have to reel
Mm.
me back in like, dude, are we gonna play this game or are you gonna keep fucking talking about dumb shit?
Yeah.
Trying to focus. We're trying to get the fucking.
Yeah. And and it wasn't
Oh
even really that. It was just
shit!
like, okay, I just need you to open this
Yeah,
door so
yeah.
I can continue.
I'm helping you. You need to open the door. You're the main player.
Yeah, we were talking we were talking about like while I was describing how I was like a pretentious asshole and I like didn't like playing with certain people because like I didn't want to sit there and hold their hand as they fucking played the game
Yeah,
with me and try and teach them how to play this game.
that
But
makes
having
sense
played
though.
with you, like it helped me get over that, because again, it was fun, like watching you get better at those types of games.
Oh yeah.
um
Now I'm
and
great.
it's
Fucking
but it
Expedition 33. I might be better than you.
You might be, yeah, you might be. I actually, so I platinum trophied it on PlayStation. I haven't played it since.
You
So,
platted. Okay, you platted.
uh,
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've done that.
yeah,
I don't even know what I owned it on. What was I
okay.
playing it on? I think it was probably Game Pass. I
I
don't think
played
I
it on
paid for
Game
that
Pass for
game.
the live stream.
Okay.
I played it on Game Pass for the live stream. But then I ended up, because it's a single player game. I actually bought it on PlayStation. And so
Okay.
as I was going through the live stream, after the live streams were over, I would go and kind of catch
That's
myself up
right.
in
You double tap that game
on
every day.
PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I can't do.
And the funny thing is like I fucking hated Chapter 3 so much. Like
Which
the
one was Chapter
the
3?
story pisses me off so much about that game.
Oh, that's the last
Or
one.
sorry, Act
The
3.
act that the last act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when you but like what would have really saved it for me is like you have this new game plus, but literally everything is the same. Everything.
Mm,
Everything is the same. You can't do anything differently. And so like, you get this at the very beginning of the game before you go on the expedition. You get this picto that your friend that Gustav's friend has made, and like you can't do anything with it, right? He's like, oh well, maybe someday, and he throws it out there. Maybe someday it'll work. You do a new game plus, and then he literally just gives you the broken piece again. Well, I already have the one broken piece. That
interesting.
would have been a perfect time to like it actually creates like maybe like an experience booster picto, or
Yeah.
like a um or like an additional health or an additional whatever, like just something. It's little things, and I talked about this in my review of that game. Like it's little things like that make good games great, right? And like there's the aspect, what's going to happen to Gustav, but there's literally nothing you can do to change it. Who Mael is, but there's nothing you can do to help her remember who she is before that specific time in the game. So like new game plus just doesn't mean anything. You're just replaying the same
Well, that's
game.
a bummer.
And so sure, it's great that you have it worked out in one aspect, right? Like it got me it because you get more experience points in New
Hmm.
Game Plus than you do in New Game. It helped me get to that character up to level 99 faster. But that's literally all it did. I could have done that in New Game, in just a regular
Yeah.
New Game, if I wanted to, like, and so it's not giving you any of the little stuff that again takes a good game and makes it great, right? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because like
Um,
so for New Game Plus, I can tell you that like in Stellar Blade, if you beat it and then you play New Game Plus, there is new things that you can acquire. Like, or if you pick up the same
sure,
item,
sure.
unlock the same item and that you unlocked in the first one, it is going to be a new variation of that item. Like for like the
Sure, sure.
outfits
So,
and
so
stuff,
that
because they have outfits that you can collect.
that's very cool because that's essentially that's exactly like Dark Souls, right? So
Hmm.
Dark Souls 3, for example, or we'll just do the whole trilogy, right? Okay, so Dark Souls 1, you play through it, you kind of learn where everything goes and how you do everything and what the bosses are and all this stuff. Then you go into New Game Plus, you have all your equipment, you're still leveled up. And so you can go a totally different route if you want, right? Like you don't have
Yeah.
to follow the same path. You can immediately go and take out the four kings, or you can immediately, go into the depths and take out the gaping giant, or the gaping dragon, or because you have the master key, you can skip that area entirely and do like a speed run. Um, and in that case, like, when you get another copy of the same magic spell, now you can use both and it gives you more uses of that magic spell, right? Dark Souls 3, when you go into New Game Plus and then New Game Plus Plus, they have the same rings, but instead of it being the base game ring, it is now the ring +1 or the ring +2, right? So there's like a reason to go into New Game and New Game Plus, because it offers you more stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, like you get if you get a duplicate Picto in Expedition 33, it doesn't actually give you another Picto. It doesn't upgrade your Picto. It just gives you whatever the currency is, and I forgot what it's called. But like it says something to the effect of already had this. Here's currency instead. And it's like, it doesn't help me at all.
Yeah.
Like, I've already bought everything. I don't fucking need this. So it was just frustrating. I wanted so bad to like that game so much, and it was just like, I mean, it's okay.
It didn't toot your horn.
It was definitely not better, in my opinion. It was definitely not better than Silk Song. I think Silk Song should have won Game of the Year for sure.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Game of the Year. I was gonna say that is a completely different type of game. I don't even know why you're comparing them. All right, for Game of the Year. Okay.
For Game of the Year, yeah.
All right.
I 100% thought it was better, but that's just me. No one ever takes my opinion seriously.
Yeah, I definitely don't. What's the other game we always argue for? Is it's either Breath or the other Zelda game.
Oh yeah. Tears of the Kingdom. I think should have won. Still okay. Still haven't played Baldur's Gate, but
Oh yeah, that was the comparison you made. Baldur's Gate versus Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
They're not even the same. They're not even the same vein. But Game of the Year. Got it.
Game of the Year. Yeah. No, and like people that try to tell me that, or that try and say that, Tears of the Kingdom is just another Breath of the Wild. I'm like, you clearly just played through like the main story, right? Yeah. Link does the same stuff. He doesn't even do the same stuff. Like, it's totally different abilities that he gets in both games, right? And it's like, and I mean, we're not gonna get into it because I'm gonna
you see what you guys did to him
for a fucking hour. I'm gonna sit here and rant for a fucking hour, and we're not gonna get anything else done. But for anybody who thinks that they're the same game, you haven't played the games. I'm sorry, you just haven't.
I haven't played the games. I started to once, but I do like to bring them up from time to time because I know Chris will go wild.
I love those games, man. I love those games so much. So fucking much.
And the funny thing is, I have played Baldur's Gate 3. So it's like, if you and I argued about those two games, we'd both end up with the same argument. We haven't played the other ones, so what the fuck are we arguing about? You don't know, and I don't know. We just like what we like.
Now speaking of Zelda, right? We were talking earlier, I was saying there's only two paths for the video game industry to sustain itself in a capitalistic society, and one is to do the live service bullshit that everybody hates, or keep pumping out these remakes, these remasters. They've finally announced the Ocarina of Time remaster for Nintendo Switch 2. I'm super excited to play that because that was one of my favorite games for a very fucking long time. I think that's one
of the top sold Zelda titles.
It's I think it's number 2. Okay. If I remember correctly, I think Link to the Past is still, I could be wrong actually. But I think the last time I checked, Link to the Past was the best-selling Zelda game. Best-selling Zelda games. Oh, Breath of the Wild, actually. Oh
Mm.
shit.
Was
Okay,
that number
so
one?
yeah, people tell me. All right, here we go. Now I have to compare. Hold on. Baldur's Gate 3 sales. Hold on. We got to look at no, not sales. Sales numbers. Okay, if that's what you want. Let's see how. Um okay, so Baldur's Gate by the end of 2024 had sold 15 million copies globally. Tears of the Kingdom had sold 21.7 million. Top 10 best-selling Zelda games: Breath of the Wild at number 1 with 32.8, Tears of the Kingdom with 21, Twilight Princess 8.9, and then Ocarina of Time at 7.6. Wow, that okay, shit. Oh, Breath of the Wild is hold on. I have to put an asterisk next to Breath of the Wild. Of those
Uh-oh. It was
32.8
using
million.
performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, of those 32.8 million, 17 million of them were on what why does it say 17 million on the Switch? It was a Switch game. But 1.7 million of those were sold on the Wii U.
Mm.
So technically it was only 31.1 million sold.
Oh, the
Man,
Wii U.
people really like Twilight. I liked Twilight Princess a lot too. I did not realize it sold so well. Almost 9 million
I've never
copies.
even heard of it.
Oh man, that one's great. So, it you actually like the big thing with that one is you can turn into a wolf whenever you want. So you turn into the well, I don't think it's whenever you want. Sorry, I take that back. But like there, like in Majora's Mask, there's like a time, right?
Mhm.
Or like in the new ones, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, when you're out and about, it can be daytime, but then it also turns nighttime. Well,
Okay.
that happened in Twilight Princess as well. And like when it was nighttime, you could turn yourself into a wolf, and you could use that to kind of sneak around some like traps and stuff. It was also the introduction to Midna. Instead of having like the fairy, you had Midna, who was she was kind of like she was more like a demon than a fairy, right? Man, that game was so good. I think kind of what screwed it more than anything was it was originally released on the GameCube, but according to the sales numbers, it nobody bought it until it was re-released on the Nintendo Wii.
Hmm.
Because it sold less than 1.5 million copies on GameCube, but it did very well on the Nintendo Wii, 7.5 million. Man, that's crazy. 32.8 million copies. But I mean, okay. So again, Tears of the Kingdom, 21.7, Baldur's Gate, 15 million. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
The fuck?
uh, which is hilarious because if we were talking about movies, I would say box office don't mean shit. Fuck box office.
Oh.
That don't mean shit. We really think Independence Day is the greatest movie of that year? Get the fuck out of here. Come on
Yeah, you
now.
know what? You're right. Like box
Independence Day is a
office,
great movie though.
those numbers really don't mean much. Like the critics, they're all dumb. Like I would never trust a movie critic to tell me what movie I should or should not go and see. But you can almost
Right.
always trust game fans. Like if a game is doing great per the fans, no matter what
Mhm.
negative press it has, it's probably a good game. For the
It's
most
probably a
part.
good game, yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's
Because and
anything that
again,
would be an exception to that rule. There are some things where a game. Well, no, shoot. I was gonna say there might be some exceptions where somebody's just review bombing something, but
sure. Well, like
um,
okay, so
I can't. The only thing,
the
like a
latest one
game
I can
could be
think of
good, but it
is
might get review bombed if the developer is a piece of shit. But I can't think
sure,
of a
sure,
reason
sure,
why
sure.
anybody would review bomb a legitimately good game.
Right,
other
right,
than like that scenario or a similar scenario. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, it tends to review bombs tend to be more like for instance, like the new one to review bomb is God of War. I think it's
yeah,
pronounced Lawfey, Lufey.
yeah, something like that.
Um,
Just
because
because the ugly
it's not
female
about
protagonist.
Kratos.
Um,
Yeah.
that you know what? That's actually
And
something that
there
I've
was
seen a
a
lot
I
of news on. Not only that one, but some other games that are coming out that have been getting a lot of we'll say publicity or press, whether it's good or bad. And yeah, God of War was one of them. And
yeah,
more
that's I know a lot of
specifically,
people have
like
been
this
talking
whole
about it.
thing about replacing men with women in games. Um, I really don't.
Right, right.
I really don't
Yeah.
mind. So I don't know if the review of bombing it because it is a female replacing Kratos, or if it's because the actress is actually a good looking actress and they made her character ugly, or or what it is, or maybe a
I think it's
combination.
I was gonna say, I think it's kind of a combination of the 2 of 'em. In reality, right? And I've said this about, to kinda compare this to movies, I've said this about Darth Vader. I enjoyed the prequel trilogy, seeing how Darth Vader, how Anakin Skywalker grew as a Jedi Knight and became Darth Vader. Like I enjoyed those movies,
Hmm.
but Darth Vader was a much more menacing character to me when I didn't know any of that shit. When he was just
True.
Darth Vader and all I knew was that he was originally, Luke's father and he turned to the dark side. And then his redemption arc is even bigger because you don't know why he turned to the dark side, but Luke's able to bring him back and he fulfills his prophecy, right? And
Yeah.
so I just thought he was a better character without knowing.
Yeah. I
Faye,
can
in
see
my
that. I can
opinion, is a better
agree with that.
character. Sure. In the same way that I think Faye is a better character, not knowing anything about her,
Mm.
because Kratos doesn't know anything about her. In Ragnarok, they're going to visit her grave, and he finds out all this stuff about her before they met that he didn't know. Right, like Atreus doesn't know her because she passes away before he gets old enough to remember anything. But like even Kratos doesn't know anything about her. So having a game built around her, I think loses a lot of the appeal of what and who Faye is.
Yeah.
Also, by the end of the game, by the end of Ragnarok, the most logistical, continuation of the story would have been to go on Atreus's adventures. And spoiler alert here, but Ragnarok's been out for a few years now. At the end, Atreus is finally comes to Kratos and is like, "Hey, I need to find out who I am. I need to become a man on my own. I have to leave. I can't be in your shadow anymore." And so it just made logistical sense that the next game would star Atreus, right? Because you've already played as him a little bit in Ragnarok. He's got his whole moment, and you kind of get that in The Witcher 4 as well, because it's supposed to be, the main character is now Ciri. Well, you play as Ciri in The Witcher 3, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that, she like takes over. Now, my biggest problem with that is, they decided for whatever reason that she's going to be the first female ever that gets, can become a Witcher, but she's already magical, right?
Yeah.
Like she's already got shit that's special about her. So why are you giving me a Witcher that's not Geralt just to say that you gave me a woman Witcher? Like that's
Yeah,
I
you didn't
think
have to
the
do
people
that
what people
for the
have the biggest problem with,
series. You could
right?
base a game around her
Yeah, you
without
could have
changing the basic story. And I would
absolutely,
absolutely
absolutely,
play it.
and she's still special in her own right. Yeah, me too.
I'll
Like
probably play it
I fucking
anyway
had a ton of fun
because I
playing this
think Siri's a great
game.
character. So
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
mean, if that's the only change, I mean, for some people that's going to be a critical change. But if that's the only change,
Absolutely,
then I'm still
because you're going
down with
against
playing
the
it.
canon lore.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm not a I haven't read the Witcher books, right? The
yeah,
only thing I know about The Witcher is The Witcher 3. And so, I'm not invested in the lore that much,
Mm-hmm.
that it hurts it for me. But like somebody like my brother who's read all the books, I can see why that would piss him off,
Well,
right? Because
if he's
you
read
have
all
an
the
established
books,
lore.
he probably shouldn't like the games that much either because they don't really follow
Well,
the books that well.
and that's the truth is I don't know if he's ever even played the games. I know he's read the books,
Oh, okay, okay.
but I don't
Yeah,
know if he's actually played any of the games.
because the games are
But I was
loosely
using
based on the
him as an
books,
example.
but they're not a
Right, right.
direct reflection of.
Yeah, yeah. And so like I think that's what people are feeling with Lao Fei, right? Is
Yeah.
they're, and I go back to everybody said that Mad Max Fury Road was just an incredible movie. Everybody that I know that has seen it
That's the one with
says that it's a
Charlize
great fucking
Theron.
movie, but it bombed. Yes, yeah, that's the one with Charlize Theron and Anya Taylor-Joy or whatever her name is.
Oh yeah.
Everybody I know that's seen that movie says it was fucking great, but it bombed at the box office. And I think that is very specifically because they named it Mad Max Fury Road, and then Mad Max is not in the movie,
Well, he was in
right?
that one.
Like if you're gonna make
You're thinking of the Furiosa movie.
oh Fury
Um,
sorry Furiosa, yeah,
because Fury
that's the
Road
one that I'm
had
talking about.
it had Tom
That's
Hardy and Charlize Theron.
Tom Hardy. Yes, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting confused. I'm
Furiosa
confusing
was
myself.
a good
That one made
movie.
sense because
And I don't think it was called
yeah,
Mad Max
but
though. I
it
think it was just
bombed at the
called
box.
Furiosa. Hold on,
It
I gotta look
was.
that up now.
They might have changed it for the DVD release. Oh, yeah, they
It's called
changed it now. It's
Furiosa:
now
A Mad
Furiosa:
Max
A Mad Max
Saga.
Saga.
It was a good movie. I did
Yeah.
enjoy that one.
Uh,
Um,
um, but, like, when they first announced that movie, it was called Mad Max Furiosa. And so I think that pissed people off because
hmm,
again, now you're trying to and like God of War Lu Fei is doing the same thing. You're trying to get us to go see this movie because it is a Mad Max movie. You're trying to get us to play this game because it is a God of War game, but you're not giving us what we're going to see, right? By naming it a Mad Max saga, I'm expecting to see Mad Max, and he's not
yeah,
in the
I don't
movie.
know why it's called the
By
Mad
naming it
Max
God of War,
Saga. Even I mean,
right?
it's in the
Well,
same
it's
it's in the
because
same world. It's in the same universe. They should just
sure, it's in the
say Mad
same
Max is a
universe. Yeah,
part of
they didn't
whatever.
they didn't bother to name the Black Widow movie Black Widow and Avenger Saga, right? Like,
Yeah,
and so like by naming it God of War, Lu Fei, you are inherently advertising that Kratos is going to be in this game. And I don't know, maybe he is in some cutscenes of her remembering her life when she was alive.
hmm,
But by naming it something and then not giving us what you named it, you're going to fucking piss people off. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to bring into that, and whether whether it's necessary or not, you're going to bring in that you're just trying to replace men now. You're just replacing a
yeah.
man because you can.
I mean, and
And
yeah,
so you bring in this whole can of worms by naming it what you name it.
okay, yeah, I get that point. Like you could have gone a different direction with it, with the naming
Mm.
convention or how you market the product. Um,
She also
but
has her sidekick is a fucking cute.
a what?
Like, what are we doing?
The sidekick is a what?
Take a look at the take a so God of War Lu Fei. Um, look at the box art. Her sidekick
War
is a blue cube. I've seen
Blue
this gameplay
Cube.
just out of nowhere. This box just like flies in and
This
hits
isn't
stuff.
real, is it? Hold on. Is that really a
uh,
cube? Like, does it do something,
it, it's really a
or is
cube.
this just?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she uses it to attack people, or it attacks people.
It's a
I'm
cube that
not
sits on
exactly
the
sure how it
ground. I
works, but
mean, I mean, at least in Destiny, the cube floated around and said stupid lines all the time.
Right, yeah, yeah. Scan shit for us.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Uh,
I'm curious about that. But just looking at this cover art, I already know this is not geared toward your typical gamer. I think they are trying to
right.
they're trying to attract probably a more feminine audience, or maybe a younger audience than what the God of War audience is.
And right. And like, okay, so maybe this is a better way to explain what I was trying to convey. By naming it God of War Lao Fei, by making Lao Fei making Fei the main character, you're trying to attract the women that wouldn't normally play a God of War game,
Mhm.
because Kratos is a sexist, misogynist, racist, fucking atheist asshole, right? And so by getting to play as his wife, now you attract those people that do not play God of War because of Kratos himself. But you're also expecting the God of War crowd to buy it because it's a God of War game. So you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And so really what you're doing is you're upsetting your core base, hoping that you get this modern audience that time and time again has proven doesn't actually exist, right? The WNBA only survives because the NBA subsidizes its losses. And so you can't even get women to watch women's basketball. like and so you do this and you upset your base, your core base. They don't end up buying the game. The modern audience that doesn't actually exist doesn't buy the game. And
Mhm.
then you get pissed off at the people that don't buy your game because your game flops. Right? Like what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It doesn't seem that hard. It doesn't seem that hard to have a successful development company, if you just think about this stuff logically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking at
But maybe that's just me.
I'm looking at I'm trying to find games that have gone from using a male character. Hold on, I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens when you smoke. So so I'm looking for games that have like basically swapped their lead characters from males to females. Um, because it's like a hot topic, and it has been for probably a few
Yeah, yeah.
years, especially with a lot of things shifting. Um, but anyway, like a couple that came up, I was hoping to get a more extensive list, but this one kind of sucks. But I know this game has also come up recently, Ghost of Yotai. That's a sequel to
Yeah,
Ghost
Ghost
of
of
Tsushima,
Tsushima, which was
or I wouldn't
yeah,
even call it a
which is then
sequel,
Ghost of Yotai.
but and this one's one of
Yeah,
those where I would
it's
say
not
it's
really a
just a
sequel.
different game based on a different character. So that one, like,
Right,
okay, yeah,
right.
this new game has a female character, and there's probably not any ties to Ghost of Tsushima or the character from that game. So that's one where I'd say no one should be really pissed about it because it's not like a series that they built based on Jin I don't know how to say his name. His first name is Jin. Um, it was one game with that character.
Yeah,
They can move on and do something else. The story ended with him, like literally
right,
wrapped things
right.
up. Um, Another one, Gears
Mm.
5. I played a little bit of Gears 5, but I feel like that was an okay
Uh,
transition. Um,
there has been, so okay, so you bring up a good one. You bring up a good, excuse is not the right term for it. Because like you said, yeah, and I totally agree. I don't think Ghost of Yotai is a direct sequel to, it'd be like
mhm.
James Bond if instead of having 25 James Bond movies with James Bond. You had a James Bond movie, and then you had a Jane Bond movie, right? Because they're all self-contained. They're not continuous in any way up until the
Yeah.
Daniel Craig ones. So I agree with that as well. Now, two that I think worked very well is The Last of Us is a good example, right? You go from Joel being the main character in the first one to Ellie being the main character in the second
Yeah.
one. I think that's a natural progression.
Yeah, exactly. And that one's on this
And
list
the other
too.
one is
Is Last of Us 2.
right. The other one that I would say is um, the Dishonored series, right? You have the first one
Oh
is
yeah.
Corvo. The second one, you can technically play as Corvo, but you're really kind of supposed to play as Emily, his daughter.
Yeah, and
Again, that's
I think
another
that's a
natural
natural
progression, right?
progression. Yeah.
Mhm. And so I don't think there's I don't take issue with games making women lead characters. I
Hmm.
have issues with putting it in just to put it in, right? And I think most people probably agree with me in that case.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would say if it
but
doesn't
like
fit, or
even
if
if
the character was always a side character and suddenly they're the main character, like because
the
Ellie
main
in
character,
Last of Us
yeah,
was a co-main character for the first one.
right, you actually played as her at moments in the game.
Yeah.
And so, especially the DLC, it was only her, right? It was her before she met
Oh
Joel.
yeah.
And so it makes sense that she would continue on as the main character in the next one. It makes sense to me. Um, but like Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silk Song, I think kind of follows the Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
Yes, they are in the same universe, but they're different situations, right? The Hollow Knight was Hollow Knight's story. Silk Song is Hornet's story. And even though they take place in the same universe, they're not sequels, right? It's
Yeah.
not a sequel, direct
Those
sequel. It
games
just
were
happens
on
to
one
take
of
place
these
in the same
lists
universe.
too. Like, why would you even complain about that?
Yeah.
Those are like cartoon characters.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start saying that they. I don't know. I don't even know what the argument is for the Hollow Knight games, but that was definitely on a list.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find more. There was more when I was looking at these lists the other day, and now I'm only getting like 4 or 5 games. Um,
Yeah.
what's the other argument? Like
Uh,
just men being mad at female protagonists in games. Like that's an argument
well,
that
and that's
women are saying men have a problem with females being the lead. But I mean, the argument
right, and
against that
that's
is
it's
absolutely not true because you've put a Tomb Raider game in front of me. I'm gonna play it hands down, no questions asked.
yeah, Tomb Raider,
Um,
Metroid, like
yeah.
like uh, uh God, there's plenty more. Like I would say Zelda to a certain extent, but you always technically up until the last one, you've always played as Link and not
Oh,
Zelda. But
Horizon
like
Zero
I,
Dawn, great female protagonist.
yeah, yeah. Like people like again, oh, Stellar Blade, right?
Yeah, Stellar Blade, Near
Like, Stellar
Automata or
Blade's a fucking great
Autonoma,
game.
Hellblade. And there's a
I'm
third Hellblade coming
right.
out.
I'm fucking super excited for Tides of Annihilation, where you
Oh
don't play
yeah,
as King Arthur, you play as his wife Gwendolyn or whatever. Like
yeah, Guinevere,
I have
and
no problem playing.
my wife's been waiting for that one
Or,
too,
yeah, not Gwendolyn, Guinevere. Yeah,
and she's like, they pushed the date back again for Tides of Annihilation. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
they did. Yeah,
well, I better push it back than put out a shitty product.
yeah, I agree.
But
And so that like I don't have a problem with a female lead. I don't it's
oh,
just
mhm,
it's when you use the excuse that you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you hate women, as your excuse to make this flop, right? Like
yeah,
if you've established something and it makes sense to then create this character. And they got to be good characters too. Like let's be
True.
honest. Like Abby was not a good character in The
No.
Last of Us 2. She just wasn't. She wasn't interesting to play. She was an entitled fucking cunt bag that just I didn't like. Why would I want to fucking play as somebody if I don't like them?
And she had
Yeah, I didn't agree with her actions. I thought she was a fucking, like a privileged fucking piece of shit that treated all of her friends like
wasn't
pieces
her
of shit.
dad a
And so
doctor?
yeah, he was one of the doctors that was killed by Joel at the
Yeah.
end of the first one. And so, like her whole friend group is looking for Joel to get revenge because he
Yeah.
killed all their parents. But as they go through this game, like they get to a point where they're like, we've been looking for him for years. We haven't for a year. We haven't found him yet. I'm kind of over it. I just want to go home and live my life. And she's like, no, we have to find this fucking guy. And you're a fucking asshole if you don't want to fucking find this guy. And I can't believe you guys are fucking betraying me. And thought you were my friends and blah, blah, blah. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Do you think I've been working on this
Like
physique
just
to
because you
give
hate
up?
your life.
I didn't get these man titties
And one
for
of them, of
nothing.
course, and like one of them, of course, is her ex-boyfriend who, instead of going after Ellie and Joel for revenge, wanted to just run away and start a life with her. And she's like, no, fuck you. We have to get, we have to get revenge.
Yeah.
And of course, he ends up impregnating another one of their friends. And it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here, dude? Like,
Well, he was the
what the
other
fuck are we
friend that
doing?
he
You're supposed to.
impregnated more like feminine.
Yes, very much. She
Of
was
course.
kind of young and fragile and much more feminine
He got tired of
than
taking in the
like it.
ass,
I
you
mean,
know?
he got tired of having sex with a woman that looked like a dude. Yeah, I as a straight man myself, I wouldn't want to have sex with a woman that looks like a dude either. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's just me.
Maybe China when she was alive, but that's it.
But.
Oh, China
But
the
yeah,
wrestler, not
it's
China
just
the
like
Disney
right, yeah, yeah.
kid.
I knew
Make that perfectly clear right now.
yeah, no, I knew
I don't know. Somebody in our
Uh,
audience might be young and not know who China the wrestler is.
yeah, she
Dude.
was. Oh shoot, man, yeah, she was pre 2010s. So yeah,
Yeah.
shoot, man, you're right. There's probably a lot. There's probably a lot of generations out there that don't know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Um, but it it is just like and like I've got a whole thing against Neil Druckmann and why they fucked up by firing Ann Horning and promoting him. Like it's pretty apparent now, and anybody who refuses to acknowledge that Neil Druckmann is a fucking pretentious douchebag that's an awful fucking storyteller. Like you're just trying to cope for the fact that you got played. A lot of people did. Don't worry,
You
but
got
you got to learn from your
motherfucker.
mistakes. Otherwise, you're just a fucking fool, right? Like you can't. How you can take a franchise like not just The Last of Us, right? How you take a franchise like The Last of Us and Uncharted. Like Uncharted 4 is one of Uncharted 3 definitely, but Uncharted 3 and 4 are some of the greatest like action adventure games of all time. And then this dude takes this woman's position, right? This guy takes this woman's position and immediately takes two of the most beloved franchises and fucking like just runs them into the ground, like fucking runs them into the ground.
Which what came after Uncharted 4?
Sony, in their infinite wisdom, decided to continue Marathon and end Destiny, which I think was the wrong idea. But at least they have started to look at Naughty Dog and go, why the fuck is it taking you 10 years to fucking make these games?
Yeah.
Why are you going hundreds of millions of dollars over budget and you're still not releasing these fucking games?
I like this video
And
title
why
for
does
Uncharted
everybody
5.
seem to fucking hate?
So
Oh, what,
it's
Drake's
Uncharted
Legacy.
5. Uncharted 5 leaks say it's coming, but will PS6 ruin it? Are they waiting for PS6? Is this going to
At
be
this
like a
point, I
launch,
mean,
like a new console launch exclusive or something?
I mean, again, there's a lot of shit going on at Sony right now. They are not very happy with
No.
Naughty Dog,
Oh, I mean,
because so
not many people are
they were
happy with
supposed to.
Sony though. Like
Well,
consumers aren't
yeah, I
happy with
mean,
Sony.
yeah,
Sony's
yeah.
doing a lot of stuff
Sony's kind of.
like kind of censoring or I really want to find the term that I'm trying to use for this shit where everything gets toned down or kind of bleaching like uh,
Sure, yeah, yeah.
like
Bleach is a good term. Yeah,
tone
like
everything
where
down
you
like
kind of
all
you.
these it's a good
Yeah.
thing the company Shift Up, which made Stellar Blade, is at a point where they can do their own thing and they don't need Sony to launch a game, because that's what they're doing with the new Stellar
Right.
Blade. They're doing it on their own and they're not using Sony.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
imagine this release will be even better than the
but
first one.
I mean, you're 100% right though. Yeah, there's, there, and again, I think they've kind of started to realize it a little bit, but they for a while, and what's confusing about Sony is like there's technically two Sonys, right? There's the Japanese Sony, and then there's Sony America. And Sony America is the one that is the predominant game developer. Sony Japan is more like TVs and um like electronics and shit like that.
Yeah.
Uh Whereas I think if Sony Japan would have more control over Sony America, I think you would see less of this type of bleaching is a good term for it, because they're taking, for example, they would take a game like Jack and Daxter, and they would take out all the adult humor, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so it wouldn't be
exactly.
Jack and Daxter. It'd be Jake and Dickhead.
Jake and Dick. That sounds like a fun game. I'd play that.
But it's not Jack and Daxter without the adult humor.
It would
But
be
Sony
they
has
would
had
take
a
out the adult
you
humor,
know
but they would also make Jack and Daxter lovers at the same time.
this very much, like, the trailer that they put out for it very much makes me think, like, boss bitch, don't care about nothing, I'm my own boss type of fucking bullshit that ruins characters. Like
Yeah.
the best thing about the original Last of Us, right? And why that story resonates so well, and why people love Pragmata so much, is you have this guy who's had tragedy happen in his life so much to the point that he doesn't really give a fuck about anybody else, right? Everything he does is for some sort of personal gain. And then so he takes on this, we've got to deliver this lady to the fireflies in Seattle. He doesn't even know why at first, but he's
Did
only
you just
doing
go
it because
from
his.
Pragmata to The Last of Us?
Well, yeah. So, but let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
And
I'm
again,
like,
I haven't played
okay,
Pragmata, right? I
okay.
haven't played Pragmata yet. But I know essentially what the argument is about, the story is
Uh,
about,
okay.
at least in base terms. And so you have this guy Joel who is only doing this because a woman he used to have feelings for begged him to do it because of the profit that they would make for doing said job.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the story, he his personality changes into a wannabe role model father for the daughter he lost. And like he loses his daughter in the beginning of the game. She gets shot by um whatever the government agency is called. I don't think they're the Fireflies
The
at this
army.
point in the game. Anyway,
It was probably. It was
so
just
like
one
when
of the military services.
yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, that's right. But you know, he sees a way to redeem himself by then becoming this father figure to Ellie, who's essentially the same age as his daughter he lost, and now he gets to be the father that he wanted to be, and so he becomes a better person as the journey continues. Pragmata is about a guy who is, you know, has this what computer, she's like an AI program or something,
Yeah,
but looks and feels like a real daughter. And so you have this father daughter connection. And so there's humanity to it, right? You have a character that you want to root for.
yeah,
Whereas Intergalactic looks like you just have this fucking bitch that hates everybody because it's cool to hate everybody,
yeah,
and there's no redeeming qualities about her. Why would I want to play as somebody that doesn't have any redeeming qualities?
yeah.
Like I don't want to. I you
That's
know
why
like
movies bomb
I
too
don't want to
lately.
play a game. Right. You know, absolutely. I
Uh,
100% remember when Melissa McCarthy was complaining that she had to keep all her weight on because of her contractual obligation to her TV show. And
yeah, I
I
think
mean, at the
what's her
time, I was like,
name?
bitch, if you were skinny, ain't nobody thinking you're funny, really. What makes you funny is the fact that you're a fat bitch. That's why you get jobs. So
And
shut the fuck up. Like, but
and to argue that same point on the other side, Chris Farley probably wouldn't have gotten jobs if he was
yeah,
skinny.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. No,
because
I agree. Like his whole persona was, you know, being a big dumb idiot, right?
yeah,
And it worked for him.
and I think in real life he was a big dumb idiot because he was big, so he had to come up with some sort of way to counter that him being fat and not
Hmm.
popular. So he just started being loud and obnoxious because it made people laugh, and he did a lot of
Yeah.
physical comedy or
Hmm.
slapstick,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You play to your strengths.
and so
I just watched this video on Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he was talking about that. You know, he graduated from NYU, wanted to be an actor, but he understood he didn't look like Al Pacino. He didn't look like fucking Robert De Niro. He didn't look like Brad Pitt. He didn't look like Leo DiCaprio. And so he had to be able to embody a character to make him stand out from everybody else. And that's why he's so great as like not just a leading actor. Like I mean, he won the Academy Award for Capote, but like most of his most memorable roles is just him being a side character. Like Punch Drunk Love, he's fucking
yeah,
hilarious as the owner of the fucking, you know, the sex hotline, right?
he
Like
was
he's
in
fucking
Along Comes
hilarious. He's
Polly
great in
too.
Magnolia. Yeah. Dude, we got to get
With
out of here. I just sharted. What?
yeah. That was Ben Stiller, right?
You
Ben
know, and like
Stiller, Jennifer
yeah, Ben
Aniston.
Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. Yeah.
Okay.
Alan Arkin played Ben Stiller's dad, and I
Mm,
mean, he's so good in that whole movie, right? Because he had that great role as a child actor, and it like went to his head, and so you know he's
yeah.
putting on this play where he's both the director and the writer and the main actor and the main like antagonist.
You know what's funny? That's his real life
And,
though.
yeah.
He writes, directs, and
But
stars
I
in
mean,
all of his own
he's
shit.
so good. Yeah, right. I mean, he's so good in Charlie Wilson's War. He plays the CIA guy that
Is this
is,
Alan
you know,
Arkin?
helping expose the fraud of the war going on, and he's really the one that finally gets Charlie Wilson to start trying to wrap up the Iraq War and stuff.
Mm.
He's great in Magnolia as Tom Cruise's
Oh,
dad's like in-home nurse.
yeah.
Fucking, he's great in Boogie Nights as the fucking like weird gay guy that's obsessed with Mark Wahlberg. Like he's just such a good actor. You know, but like Like he understood the assignment, right? He was like he understood that he didn't look like a leading actor, and so he had to do what he had to do to get himself in.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, a lot of people forget his first role. He was in Scent of a Woman, which won Best Picture. You know, like I mean that's
And he
crazy. That his
played
first movie.
he played the Scent of a Woman, which according to Bloodhound Gang
Yeah.
is Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are some very
Yeah.
old references, so have fun with those.
You and I might be the only one that knows that movie, Scent of a Woman. But Al Pacino won Best Actor for that movie. It's great. It's so good, so good.
Scent of a Woman, an obscure
Um,
reference to the Bloodhound Gang song that was never on the radio.
yeah. I had one of their albums, the one with was it me and you, baby, ain't nothing but
Oh
mammals.
yeah,
So
that's
let's
her.
do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
I think
Yeah,
that
whatever
that
that song
album was
was.
called "Hooray for Boobies,"
Yeah, yeah. Now that you say
because
it,
that one
I think
was
that's right. Yeah, I can remember what it was.
I can't remember the name of that song, but that one was
We'll
played
just
on the radio a lot. Like that was probably their
yeah.
second biggest song for radio play because the first one came from their first. Well, the first album I know of that got popular was One Fierce Beer Coaster with Fire, Water, Burn, and that was early, like that was like mid '90s that that one got popular.
Oh shit. Okay,
You
you just
know,
blew my mind. I didn't even know that was them.
oh yeah, it is. We don't need no
Yeah.
water.
Okay.
Let the motherfucker
Shit.
burn. Yeah,
Let
that
the
was a popular song
motherfucker
back in
burn.
the mid
Yeah.
'90s.
Okay. It was.
Um,
Yeah. It was. I know the song. I had no idea who fucking sang it.
yeah, so that was them. They got, and then one of the songs that the one I referenced with Al Pacino and the Scent of a Woman was like
Mm.
the first song on that album specifically was called "Kiss Me Where It Smells Funny," and it's just about like going down on a woman basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, there must be something wrong with Al Pacino's nose because the scent of a woman's like Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh shit. That's
So
great. Man,
yeah,
now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to their
listen
catalog.
to the
Thank you. I
album.
appreciate that.
They have some great music, but most of it is like I would say all of their music is funny. Like they have use a lot of
Yeah, 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 yeah.
euphemisms or double entendre. Um,
Sure, sure.
so yeah,
A lot of puns.
a lot of puns. Yeah, like if you know Bo Burnham uses a lot of puns in his music.
Mhm.
Obviously he's a
Yeah, yeah.
comedian, but these guys all use a lot
Right,
of
right.
puns in their music as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you bring that up because they're instead of like comedians like Adam Sandler doing funny songs, they're like a band that does comedic songs.
Yeah, like if you
That's
listen to
kind of cool.
lyrics, like oh this is that
I never
okay,
thought of it that way.
and
Yeah.
they even have one song on that same album, One Fierce Beer Coaster, where the song is called Boom, and they do it with Vanilla Ice when he was not going through his Vanilla Ice
Oh.
stage. Like he wasn't doing
Oh, you
anything,
mean he had
but then
transitioned over to rock music
no, well, he was,
or was
I
this
don't
like
this was
kinda in
before
between
that
Vanilla Ice and
even, and,
okay,
it's like
okay.
they introduced a song, and it's like Bloodhound Gang and Rob Van Winkle together on this track. Rob Van Winkle's his legal name, and, like, who
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah,
is Rob
yeah,
Van
yeah.
Winkle? But, like, basically, it's Vanilla Ice, and Vanilla Ice does the first verse of the song, and you wouldn't even know because it's not like the
Oh,
Vanilla
shit.
Ice rap style.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Yeah, I remember Ice Ice Baby from rapper Vanilla Ice,
yeah,
and then I remember him,
he did a rock
coming out
version.
of nowhere and
Yeah.
reinventing himself as this, like Limp Bizkit heavy metal, like, "Ice Ice
I remember
Baby."
hearing that version. I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll see how this goes." I don't think it went anywhere though. Um, I think
I don't think it did
I
either,
think you
yeah.
know who Adam Sandler helped him a little bit. Because he was in that movie with Adam Sandler and Adam Sandberg. I can't remember the name of it, and he played like
Oh,
uh,
was it
Uncle Rob or
Daddy's
whatever,
Boy or whatever?
something like that.
When Adam Sandler has Adam Sandberg is like a 15-year-old and
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
like going to college together or something.
And then
They're basically the same age.
Adam Sandberg later on in life, when Dad comes back into the picture, and then Uncle Rob comes, he's like, "Wait a second, Uncle Rob was Vanilla Ice."
Adam Sandberg's actually got a pretty funny band too,
Oh,
which
it's
I wish I could
Andy Sandberg,
remember the
isn't it?
name
We
of
both
it.
said Adam twice.
Or Andy Samberg, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg,
they both look the same too.
yeah.
It's the same guy.
Uh, they do, yeah. Which, I mean, you could easily believe that they would be father and son.
Yeah.
Man, what is the Lonely is it Lonely Island?
Lonely
I think
Island,
it's called Lonely Island.
Lonely
But
Island is
they,
their band.
yeah,
They got
they've got
some
some pretty
great
good hits
hits
too.
too.
They're pretty funny.
I just
Yeah.
had sex.
I mean, I just had dude, I mean, one of my favorite SNL skits is Dick in a Box.
Oh yeah.
I got my dick in a box.
You know what I
It's
like?
my dick in a box, girl.
I threw it on the fucking ground. You see that one?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Like,
Shoot,
the phone
yeah.
rang and my girlfriend said, "It's your dad." I said, "That ain't my dad. That's a cell phone." So I threw it on the ground.
That's a cell phone. Oh shit.
And he just goes around just
Uh.
smacking shit out of people's heads. So I threw it on the ground. Or they did other one, something a boss. What is it called? Oh, like a boss.
They didn't they do like a boat? Didn't they do on a boat too?
Oh yeah.
I'm on a boat, bitch. I'm on a boat.
They did.
I'm on a boat, bitch.
They got a lot of songs
Yeah,
that just stick with people. I don't even know if they were hits.
Yeah.
They just stick with people.
Yeah, shoot. I mean, if it wasn't for Dick in a Box, I wouldn't have ever heard of them ever. But yeah, there's a lot of songs that they have, which is kind of, it's funny that they have "I'm on a Boat" because, they literally dropped that song like maybe a month, maybe 2 months after Step Brothers came out.
Oh yeah, it
And
seemed like
in
it was right
Step
around the
Brothers,
same
they
era.
have the boats and hoes. All I ever think about is boats and hoes.
What's damn?
There's a random story, and then I don't know if you can hear my fucking son is crying his ass
Oh,
off,
well,
so
it's
I'm
probably
gonna have
time to
to
wrap
go
up
here pretty
anyway.
soon.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll end with music talk,
just
I
want to throw
guess.
this one story out there. We're always talking shit about women. I don't know. It's so funny to me. Because fuck them, right? Literally, fuck them. Every one of them. But so just a random story about boats and hoes is this fantasy football league that I'm in. One of the guys' one of his fantasy football names is Boat Sand Hose, and that's how I read it. But what I finally read it all together, and I was like, "Oh, that's boats and hoes." And so I asked him about it. He was like, "Yeah, for whatever reason, ESPN wouldn't let me do boats and hoes, but they would let me do boat sand hose."
That's funny.
And so I mean, it was like at least 2 or 3 years this dude had this name. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is boat sand hose? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, eventually you'll come around and it'll click.
Finally, my
That's
dumb
like
ass, it was after I stopped smoking weed on a regular basis, and then I was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah.
I
On
gotta
that
look
note,
something
I'm
up.
retarded.
I'm looking up this movie real quick because I gotta. Okay, and National Treasure. National Treasure is a Disney movie.
Oh, yeah.
There is
Yeah, dude,
a
National Treasure is
security.
great. National
Yeah,
Treasure
it
2,
is.
not so much.
Oh, I like National Treasure. It went along the lines of like Indiana Jones, or even we can say
Yeah,
maybe the Da
yeah,
Vinci Code a little bit, because it had like history,
sure.
like it was like one of those, I don't know, for some reason those adventure history, or history adventures, we'll call them that, are just really fun if they're done right.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, so tying this back to like boat sand hose, there's a security guard in National Treasure, and if you see his name tag, because he's like just like an extra basically, but you see him and he's in his yacht. His name tag is Mike Hawk. So I thought that was funny for a
Is
Disney
he
movie.
related to Mike Hunt?
No, they're neighbors.